I'm going to unmute myself and start again. Hey, good evening and welcome to Tuesday Night Live here in the Honey Block with me, OC Ejiofor. For those of you who could lip read, you would know exactly what I just said just now because you are brilliant at lip reading. I can see some people dropping comments now, probably telling me that you can't hear me. That is amazing. I actually started the show on mute. I hope you're all well. I hope everybody's having a great day. I hope you're all having a great week. It is another evening, is another great show for you. This is a place to be if you want to sharpen your skills as an entrepreneur, as somebody who wants to monetize their skill or start to do business, start to trade, start to do something. This is the place for you. This is a place where if we will use the metaphor as a piece of metal being smashed against a piece of rock in order to sharpen it. This is the honing block, and this is the place where you can get to develop your skills as an entrepreneur. So for tonight's show, we're dealing with something that is a very, very interesting concept, and that is actually taking action now. And the reality of these types of scenarios, we find ourselves in scenarios whereby actually we know what we need to do. Maybe we've got some of the things that we need in place to do it. Maybe we've received advice. Maybe we've even read some books. Maybe you've been to a seminar or two or three or a few or five or whatever, and you still haven't done anything. And you kind of ask yourself, what are you waiting for? You know you need to do something, but you kind of give yourself an excuse. You give yourself excuses. You say, yeah, well, I will do it after I have done X or after I have done Y. Or maybe you don't feel like it the way that you used to feel like it when the idea was fresh. Maybe you've done it, you've tried it before and you know that it's not really going to work. We have so many barriers to us taking action. And we need to make sure that we're in a position where we can actually take action now, which is why I've invited a very special guest to join us tonight, Mr. Words Taylor, all the way from the US. And he is somebody who knows exactly what he is talking about when it comes to taking action. He's somebody who has been there and done it in his personal life. We're going to get into his personal story. We're going to get into all the things that he's been through and his journey and how he's come to be who he is today, which is a motivational speaker, which is an author, which is an online launch strategist, helping people to launch their businesses online. And he's going to be sharing his thoughts with us tonight. But first of all, I'd like to hear from you. If you're watching tonight, I'd like you to just tell me, number one, where you are watching from. First of all, tell me where you're watching from. I've had a mad day today. I went all the way to Derby and I've come all the way back from Derby. Derby is in the Midlands of the UK, for those of you who aren't familiar with Great British geography. But yes, I've traveled half the length of the country. But yes, tell me where you're watching from. Drop in the comments. We'll give you a shout out. And also tell me if you have a business idea, if you are thinking of going into business. I want you to tell me in the comment section what area of business it is that you want to get into. So maybe you can tell me the sector. You don't have to say everything about the business idea, but maybe the area in which you're trying to start something, or maybe the thing that you're trying to monetize, or maybe if you thought about selling something online, just put sell online. If you thought about knitting and selling products, just type in products. But let me know the different ideas. Maybe it's you wanted to start a business in property. I want to hear from you. I want you to tell me what it is that you are thinking about doing, you want to get involved in, and all the things that you are considering when it comes to starting your online business. Let me know in the comment section, because I talk to many different people. In fact, shout out to Achure if he's watching now. He's dropped an advert in the Honing Block Facebook group because he's starting his coaching business, and he's actually launched and he's taking on some free clients, and he started his business called In Purpose. So that is an area that he's had as an idea. He's one of the people that I mentor, and he's gone from having it as an idea just in the concept phase, bringing it into a reality. And that is something that not many of us do. Okay, so we've got a shout out to Julian, who's watching from Milton Keynes. Hey, Julian, how are you? I did go past you on the way back from I'll post this up here. So Julian watch from Milton Keynes, Buckinghamshire, very nice area of the country, Buckinghamshire. And he said I probably drove past. I did drive past you on the way back from London. And that reminds me, Julian, I know Julian personally, by the way. If you're watching, I'll just have a little personal message for Julian. You've got my Super Nintendo with my Street Fighter Turbo on there, and I'm missing all of those sound effects. So I need to come and collect my console from you. But yes, that's enough about Julian and his stealing of my console. Let's get focused on tonight's show, which I said is about taking action. So it doesn't matter what area of business you're thinking of getting into. Tonight is all about taking action. And for those of you who aren't sure about who Words Taylor is, I'm going to play you this little intro so that you can get to know a little bit about him before we introduce him.
There's so much power in what you speak over your day, over your life. So on Facebook, one of my Facebook friends, the other day, he's a car salesman. And I saw a Facebook post, and this post, let me tell you, this post was so on point, and it just caused a grind to come out of me. And so what he said in this post was, I'm going to sell 3 cars today. Comment below if you want to be my first. Maybe you missed it a little bit. I want you to catch this. All right. He says, I'm going to sell 3 cars today. Comment below if you want to be my first. Understand what happened. He didn't say, I want to try to sell 3 cars. I hope to sell 3 cars. I wish to sell 3 cars today. He says, I will sell 3 cars. It's happening with or without you. But listen, you can be a part of this journey. You can be a part of this goal. And so what started happening? People came to him. People started commenting, hey, I'm interested. Hey, I need a new car. Hey, my son is graduating. We want to get him a car. So now everybody starts to come to him to help him with his goal. Something that he set out. Something that he commanded. He commanded that in his day. He commanded himself to sell 3 cars. And guess what happened? He updated us later. My man sold 3 cars. He actually sold one more than that. He sold 4 cars. Come on. So when you command your day, you're taking control of your day. But this is what we do. We get into a habit where we say things like, oh, it's Monday. Oh, this is a case of the Monday. Things go wrong on Monday. Oh, it's Wednesday. I only have a couple more days to Friday, so let me just be in survival mode until Friday. Oh, wow, it's finally Friday. I can turn up again. No. So on Monday and Wednesday, you mean to tell me that you're telling your body and your mind that it's okay to be average? It's okay to just survive on those days? So guess what? When you say that about Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, your body says, oh, it's Monday. We're not supposed to grind hard. Oh, it's Wednesday. We're just supposed to survive until Friday. Oh, it's Saturday. Just relax. Oh, it's Sunday. We can't do anything on Sunday because we have to relax. But what if you told your mind every single day that today is grind day? Today is going to be the best day I've ever had.
Today is grind day indeed. And we have none other than Mr. Words Taylor. Welcome, sir. Good evening. How are you?
Yo. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes.
Yo, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate you having me on. You went back to get that. Woo. That's That's real right there. That's real. Thank you so much. Shout out to everybody that is listening and that is on. Salute, man. My man OC got me sharing his platform, man. He's definitely willing to serve. So thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I know it's morning over there, right? Is that, or is it afternoon?
Yeah, it's about 3:14.
Cool. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. I know you're a dad, you're a father, you got little ones. So I appreciate you being able to join us today. So
yeah, no doubt. This is actually the perfect time because everybody's down for nap. So you picked the right time.
Perfect. That's great. Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us. I've mentioned to the people that you are an author, that you are a motivational speaker, that you are an online launch strategist.
Yeah.
And many people watching may not know you, may not know about your story. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how it is you came to be where you are today.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised. I would say
something about me. I'm very like, I know it doesn't seem like this online, but I'm actually very silly. I love to have fun and play. But again, growing up in Chicago, you know, it's kind of hard to engage in playful matters. There's a lot of people, even now, you know, the crime rates are high and things like that. So I was raised where, you know, the grind had to be there. My father's an entrepreneur. Never seen him work a job. And so, you know, we come from a city of hustlers. Right. So when you say, you know, how did you get to this point? It's like, this is what I was born into. I was born into the hustle. I was born into the grind. I was born into, like, you have to create your own income and not be dependent on somebody else to pay you, or not be dependent on somebody else to take care of your family and be, you know, provide for them. Or, you know, you got to learn to think for yourself. And no disrespect to anybody 9 to 5, but I'm just telling you what I was always taught. This is how I was raised. And so from there, I, you know, graduated high school. I now live in Iowa, where big change, big, huge change right there. Where I graduated from Iowa State. I met my wife. We now have 3 kids. Wow. Out here. We've been together, I think it's 16 years now. We've been married 11 of those years. So yeah, man. So it's phenomenal. And we built a business. We were both at home full time. And for me, it was just about, again, going back to that entrepreneurship. This is what I've known. And so now I just, you know, transition that from my pops and I hustling on the street and selling, whether we were selling glasses or purses or shirts or whatever, to now being able to do that online to the digital world. Right. So now that, you know, it just made sense for me to transition this way.
Okay. That's good. Now I need you to explain something for a lot of my UK audience, right? Okay. So you talk about Chicago. Many people would know Chicago, but Iowa, is it far? Is it East Coast? Is it West Coast, Central?
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So Central, yeah. So we are Midwest. I mean, where are we? Yeah. So we're Central, and cold, corn, snow. What else do you need to know? It's cold. We have 2 seasons. I don't know. In London, you may have 4.
I think we have 27. I think we have 27. We have all different kinds of seasons over here. You know, so, yeah.
Okay. So my wife says we have all 4. However, the longer seasons are for sure winter, right, and fall. So yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool. So you come from an entrepreneurship family. You had that background. In one of your videos, you talk about a time when you kind of lost everything. How did that come about? How did you get to that point?
Man, so I can't just pinpoint one thing. Like, you know, we were working at a company. We were working for a company. That was the first thing. You know, I was going against what I had learned already, which was, you know, create your own income. And so, but, you know, after college tells you, no, you want to get a good job. You know, you want to have the job security. You want to have, you know, 401k plan. You want to have the step-by-step laid out. And so there was a point where my wife had graduated, and there was a company just starting up, and they were paying us, you know, $100,000 a year to work for them. So I ended up quitting school. And I'm like, well, shoot, I'm already making the money that I want, you know. That wasn't $100,000 each. That was like 50,000 each, right? And so as a 20-something-year-old, maybe I was 22 at the time or whatever. So I'm thinking like, this is bank. I'm making $50,000 a year. I made it. Forget school, right? And so like, school, who needs that? And then it just got to a point where, so the state now said, wait a minute, you need a degree. They put the demand down. You need a degree to complete this job, right, and to actually function in this job. And so we had built a life around this income. We, you know, bought a house, car, putting ourselves into all type of debt, building it around a certain income, because I was chasing the security, right? The job was the security. And so I got laid off because it got to a point where they're like, look, you can't work this job anymore. So I quit the job. I quit school to take the job. And now the job was like, well, no, you actually need school, so you can't do the job.
Right.
And so that was a mistake there. And then the company ended up going under, which caused my wife to now be unemployed as well.
Wow.
And so, not having any plan set up, any savings set up or anything like that, we're saying we're making all this money, but we're not really seeing it. We don't really know. The money is just coming in our hands and going right out because we've never had money like this.
Right.
So it's like, yo, let's spend it. What do you do with money? Let's spend it. And so it got into a situation where we couldn't pay bills.
Wow.
And so now we were at a point where, we were going to food pantries and we were doing I don't know if you all have it in London where you have like payday loans and payday advances, or checking, where you can show I make this much.
Yes.
You give me $500 and I got to pay you $600 back in 2 weeks. We were caught up into all of those things and putting our account in a negative. And finally, we just couldn't do it anymore. So we got cars repossessed, home taken away, and we end up staying in a friend's basement for about 4 months, just trying to recover. And this is the same time we had our daughter was about 5 months.
Wow.
So this was for me as a man and me desiring to be a provider. It was definitely a struggle. It was definitely something that weighed heavy on me, and I felt very inadequate. I felt very low. I felt like a failure, and I also at that point, and that's what still drives me today. I'm like, yo, I can't ever feel that again. Like that moment won't happen in my life again. I just told my wife the other day, I was like, we'll never be broke again. I know too much. My execution is on a whole nother level, and I'm way more smart with money now.
Right.
Money doesn't run me now. It doesn't control me now. It doesn't dictate, my popularity. It doesn't dictate how I feel or any of those things. And so that's why it's important for me even now to keep that basement experience at the forefront. Like, no, we won't go there again. And so, that shift. What's crazy is that I know people go through hardships and I know things happen, but sometimes they're needed. Because I'm a saver now. Now I'm more, conscious of spending and making sure not to splurge and all of those things. Had I not had that moment, and what have I got here now? And it was the same thing all over again. I needed that experience. Now I didn't appreciate it then, but today I'm like, yo, I needed that experience to be where I am today.
That's very powerful because, quite often we hear these success stories about people who have done well, and we hear about the times when they hit rock bottom. And it's always a story, right? It's always kind of over there. You've lived that, and you realize the value in that experience because, like you said, there's so many things in what you said. Just as sometimes as the man, you feel like you need to be the one providing. Like you feel inadequate if you haven't got anything coming in, and you want to make sure that you're doing that. And actually, if that gets taken away, you've got some serious decisions to make.
For sure.
Like your self-reflection, everything, how you see yourself, how you're actually gonna step up. Are you gonna lash out at everybody else around, or are you gonna kind of focus and do the right things?
And that's what you end up doing. You end up, lashing out at the people that really want to help you, that love you, that have been rocking with you, all because of, that you made some poor decisions and you don't really want to accept them fully. That's what happens to us often is like, you made the mistake, but however, it hurts too much for you to admit it to yourself that you caused it, that you brought this on yourself. Then you gotta take
this reminds me of conversations I have with my wife now. I'm getting it sweat hot in here. I need to hope she's not watching. Love you.
That's funny. That is funny.
But it's true though. It's so true. We find ourselves in positions sometimes it might not be as drastic as the situation you got into with your family, having to live elsewhere, but we all have our varying degrees of that place.
Right.
And either we're learning the lessons while we're there to get us out of it, or we continue to not learn and stay in it, because that
Absolutely.
pressure to show that you have is a very real pressure.
Well, for sure. No, I agree wholeheartedly. Yeah, definitely.
Amazing. So you came out of that,
Yeah,
and you know, again, you're back on the entrepreneurial path, so you're no longer relying on a job, etc. How has your journey been as an entrepreneur since then till now? Just kind of in a summary, how has that journey been?
Yeah, I think it's been like every entrepreneur journey is up and down. There's lions, tigers, and bears, and mountains, and everything on the path. But you know, the last 2 years, I think it's been more up. There's still some, you know, I love the fact that it's still. I feel like we're moving side to side now. We're still going up. Like there's still things that we got to get around, but ultimately we're still going up.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was like, oh my goodness, I can't win, you know? So I think the biggest thing today is the confidence and the mindset. The mind has shifted to be more positive, to be more, I expect to win more.
Right.
You know, I wake up when I do something, there's an expectation of winning. And also my mindset is like, no, I'm worthy of this as well.
Right.
So when you have an expectation of winning, and then you know you're worthy of winning as well, that changes your grind, that changes the outcome that you're going to get as well. Before it was like, I hope to win.
Right.
And do I deserve this?
Right.
So therefore, you know, life could be like, well, if you got to ask, then no. So
yeah.
It's like there was more hardships then. And now we're on the other side of that. Now we're able to produce income, you know, in our sleep and get sales and have automation systems set up in our business as well. So we're completely on the other side where we're able to have 3 kids and function and still be at home. Like that's what I love about it. And now the goal is, what every entrepreneur wants to do, is the scaling part. So now we're going to be, you know, bring up teams, like bring up our team and have people on board that can duplicate certain processes so we can continue to grow. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's very powerful. And naturally, that is what is the real journey of an entrepreneur. You know, it's never just a straight, what we get is a trajectory as entrepreneurs. Trajectory, right?
Yeah.
What you don't account for is the wind and the turbulence and everything that is on that same trajectory that comes your way.
Yeah. I like to think that, you know, when you think about, you know, going back to the job and entrepreneurship, the job gives you instant gratification. And, you know, that's why we all want to do it. All of us, there are a lot of, I think majority of us want to create our own income and be able to work from home. However, the job says, you know what? I'm going to make sure you get a check every 2 weeks or every week or every month. I'm going to make sure you get a raise every single year. I'm going to make sure that you have, you know, vacation time to spend with your families and all of that, 2 or 3 weeks out of a year. And you have some sick days. Like, you can guarantee these things. And therefore, that creates a calmness in your heart, because you know, well, okay, these are the things I can look forward to. Like, I remember, you know, when I was in a 9-to-5, the very thing we look forward to is like, yo, jean day. I don't have to dress up. I don't have to tuck my shirt in. All of those things, right? Those things are gratification that are already designed and inside of the whole 9-to-5 journey. However, so entrepreneurship doesn't look as sexy, because it's like, you don't know when you get paid.
Right.
You don't, no one is saying like, okay, you can guarantee that you're going to have this money every 2 weeks, or you can guarantee that if you dig here, that there's gold at the bottom. You don't know. You just got to start digging. You may dig for a year before you ever see a speck of gold, and you got to get excited about that speck of gold, right? Because you got to recognize that that's an indicator that there's more down there. Or not even that. Before you even get to the speck of gold, you got to get excited that you dug for 13 hours today and that you get to dig tomorrow, but you don't know if you hit anything tomorrow. You got to be excited about the process when it comes to entrepreneurship. That's the thing, because there's no instant gratification in that. That
Right.
you're in a state of delaying your gratification. You're working with the desire, with that, you know, like I said, with that expectation of I'm going to win. You know, there are parts of you that still like, I'm gonna win.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's parts of you that still say that. However, you still go because there's an ultimate belief in yourself, and there's this knowing that you're worthy. Like that's what you're doing. It's like, wait a minute, no, I'm worthy of it. I see the life that I want. And for me, once I see it, I will never let anybody take it away from me.
Right.
I've seen the life.
Right? That is powerful right there, because there's two things in that, in terms of seeing it. It's what you see as well, because when you said knowing your worth, a lot of people, a sticking point when it comes to a lot of new entrepreneurs, and I talk to them and they tell me, how do they set their pricing? You know, in whatever it is that they're doing. And when you talk about seeing what you're worth and knowing what you're worth and going for it, you know, everybody sells things at whatever price they ask for, right? So you can have people sell, you know, a cup, and for one person, a cup is being sold for 99 pence, you know, or 99 cents, you know, whereas someone else will sell the same cup, the same materials, everything for 200.
Yeah,
you
200,
know, just because. And I think that is a fundamental part of just what you see, is knowing, actually, I know why this is worth this, and then seeing that and sticking to it. I think that's a very powerful thing.
Yeah, that's the key for me. And notice, I would even say that's part of the reason why we're doing so much better in entrepreneurship. Before, it was like, okay, let's do $200. That's too much. They're never gonna pay that. Right. And so you go down to the 20 bucks and 10 bucks and all of these things, because you don't understand your value.
Yes.
Right. And but you don't realize that they will pay whatever your confidence is behind.
Right.
Whatever your confidence and your belief behind is what you will get paid.
Yeah.
And that is the biggest shift that had to happen in order for us to create more income. Like even, you know, last year we've made more money than we did last year in this 6 months. However, we've had, you know, some of the same, and we've had less transactions.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Right. So, and the reason being is because now I understand my value more, and I put confidence behind the offers. So I'm no longer saying, all right, give me $27 for this thing. I really think I should get 500, but just give me 27. I just want to get a sale. Now we're not doing that no more. Like it's 500. And because to get the $27 sale, I gotta put in the same effort.
Right.
I gotta talk to the same people. Right. I gotta answer the same questions. If I'm gonna do all of that, then I might as well just say the 500 out of my mouth. That's you get what I'm saying? Like,
most definitely.
It makes more sense. It's more expensive. It's more expensive to cheat yourself.
Right.
It costs more to be afraid to say the price you want. It costs you more.
That is so true. That is so true.
That's real.
It literally costs more. It does, because then people get into this cycle of resenting what it is that they're spending their time doing. But if someone's going to exchange their time for money, they need to make sure that when they are setting their price, not only are they confident that actually, yes, what I'm doing is worth this, but also don't waver on that. You know, some people, they'll set a price, and after a few months they're saying, oh, I haven't had many sales, so let me change the price because then I'll get more sales. And it doesn't work that way, you know.
No, we're not working that way. And that's the psychology behind it. But again, for instance, I was at a point where I was getting paid for speaking gigs, right? Now, what I charge is completely different. However, I just wanted to be booked. So there's a person that's like, oh, we'll give you $100. Now, I was excited about the $100, but I didn't realize that, okay, I'm going to drive 3 hours to come and speak. Okay, it cost me $50 to fill up my tank.
Yeah.
So $50 there and back. That's $100 first of all.
Yeah.
And then I'm also going to eat while I'm there. All right. And then we also have to have somebody else watch our kids. So a gig literally that paid me $100, I paid $300 to come to speak. So I paid to come speak.
Yep.
That's why I said it cost you more to cheat yourself. It costs you more to be afraid, to live in fear, or to say cost out of fear, or to not give your true value. It costs. Like you literally are at a point where you're cheating yourself. Now, whereas I can say, okay, cool, it's gonna cost $5,000 or $10,000 for me to come and speak. Now it's like, okay, now we're making some profit. And then here's the thing: you're going to it works out best for both of us, because if you give me the price that I asked for, understand you're going to get the fullness from me.
Right.
There's no resentment in me coming now. And I'm not saying like the resentment is all my fault, of course, if I don't price myself right. However, now that I'm there and I know you only gave me $100, it cost me $300 to actually do this whole thing. So I'm only making, I'm literally out of $200. Now there's some resentment even when I speak. You're not even getting the fullness of what I can give you. So if I give you a price, it is better for you to give me that price, because you're going to get the full extent and the results. You're going to get the full extent and the results that you're hiring me to get. Because I'm like, yo, we're both winning in this situation. I don't feel slighted anymore. And that's what happens in certain things, like where, you may present a cost or price and somebody negotiate and talk you down. Well, in that talking down process, you don't even understand the person you're hiring. Now there's some resentment. They feel like you just got over on them, and they need the money, so they go ahead and do it. But now they're not doing it to the full extent of what they can do. Right. They're really feeling like, man, they're getting over on me, so they better be happy that I'm even doing this much. Right. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas when you give me my price, you're gonna get the or what I'll do is I'll just do some of the things. I'll do some things for free, and that creates a value that now you're willing to hire. Right? Now you're willing to hire for my price.
People see the value now. They've seen, wow, look what this guy can do, and it justifies the price when they ask as well.
Exactly. Yeah. And the thing I like to do, I don't even like to. Again, and this, you've done one of my trainings before, where I want to make sure the value is so high, and I touch on the relief of what I'm going to do and the results that you're going to get, that we don't even have to talk price anymore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like you're just ready to go. Like you don't even focus on the price, and that price is not a part of your decision making. It's a matter of like, do I want those results or not? So that's in marketing yourself, you have to put yourself in that position where people know the results they're going to get when they work with you. So now we remove this conversation of do I want to pay this money or not? Nah, that ain't the question. It's, do you want the results or not? Now that is now a decision on you. I told you I can give you the results. Do you want them? You said you want them, but now let's see, do you really want them? Right. So that's what you really want to do and put yourself in that position. And the reason why people, may come and grab my products or come and book me for speaking gigs and all of that stuff is because I've created that value, and you know exactly what you're getting. You know exactly the results that I'm going to bring. And not only that, even when I do free with excellence. Right. I just did my, free content creation challenge. I did 5 lives on Zoom for free a day, and I was on there 90 minutes to 2 hours each night. Wow. Each night. And I'm doing this with excellence. I'm giving out value, no fluff. I'm giving out actual value every single night. I showed up. Right. And if that's how I do free, imagine when you actually work with me and you invest into what I'm doing. That's a different monster there. Right? Different monster.
I love that, because I think that whole process of a new entrepreneur considering their pricing, balancing out what they're doing for free, what they're doing charged. I think they're real sticking points for some people.
For sure.
And it's good that you shared that. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some of your writing, because you're an author as well. So you've written, you write poetry, you do spoken words, right? So, but
you did some homework there. Okay.
Yeah. So you wake up and start dreaming, right? So that's one of your books, and Wisdom Beyond Words. Tell us about how you got into becoming an author.
So in college, I just, I started writing poetry. My mother wasn't a part of my life. And now, now we're building, so things are good now, but she wasn't a part of my childhood. Right. And man, there was just some hurt, some anger, some unforgiveness. All of that was just kind of controlling me and my decisions. And in college, I remember a friend saying, like, bro, you got to start writing or rapping or something. You just too angry all the time. And he introduced me to Def Poetry Jam. I don't know if you ever heard of it. Yeah. So I started listening to these poets on there, and I was like, that's what I want to do. Like that's it right there. And I got introduced to that. And I remember at college, I entered a talent show and I did a poem. And I remember a young man came and was like, man, that poem changed my life. And it was about the hurt from my mother. And from there, a friend said, you should write a book, jokingly saying this. And I went out and I tried to get published, traditional publishing. I sent emails to all type of traditional publishers, and they're like, we don't really, there's no money behind poetry. It was a lot of response. I even still have those messages in my inbox. I keep all of that. I need all of that. I need all of that energy. Right. And so at that point, I found a company, Lulu.com, LULU.com, that does self-publishing. And I said, boom, there it is. So I end up, writing an entire book of poetry. I used all other college students for the picture, for the cover, for the editing, for everything. And I ended up publishing a book, and I came back to that same friend and was like, hey, I published that book. And they were like, what? So the dope part about it is when Borders was open, I even had a book signing at Borders and everything. Like I called them every single week and said, look, I'm a local author, let me do my book signing there. And it was incredible. And from there, people.
So hold on. I can't let you skip over that.
Okay, go ahead.
You called them every single week.
Every single week. I called like board. Yeah. So they were saying, there's a lady that handles local authors, and she was just not getting back to me. So I would call every single week. One time I even went in and visit, show face, like you're going to. That's why I said, OC, like going back, I didn't even know this was a part of my mindset back then. If I see it, I will have it. You will not take it away from me. Whatever barriers, I feel sorry for the barriers or the gates or the fences or the bears that are in my way. Like, because I'm going to get what I saw in my head, whatever God showed me, then he's showing me like, yo, you could, this is what remember when I said that you can call on things that be not as though they were, like, this is one of those things. And I'm like, bet. Remember when I said, I'm giving you dominion and power, this is one of those things. And I said, boom, I want it. Right. And so I even went up there and visit the lady, and finally we were able to get it worked out. And I had my book signed, my first book signing at Borders. The flyer is still on my my Facebook page. I'm sure you can see it there. And then from there, I wanted to create another book. And this time, I incorporated poetry. And I not only incorporated poetry, but I did a 30-day Dream Builder challenge where now we had, you get every part of me. So I would do a poem, I would tell a story, and then I would challenge you to do something to uplift you in your life. And this book actually went bestseller on Amazon, which was pretty dope. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, we hit number 6.
Say that again?
We hit number 6 on Amazon.
Number 6. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Huh? And I love the fact that you started off as self-published, because a lot of those stories, sometimes people have got a break or someone has helped them, etc. But actually, you've done it yourself.
Yeah,
and
sure.
And what I love most about that story is the fact that it just started off as a casual comment.
It's casual, yes.
Just a casual comment that someone has said, and actually that sowed a seed inside of you.
For sure.
So before that comment was made, maybe you weren't really thinking of that, but
I wasn't.
Planted a seed inside you.
Yeah.
Now that's manifested into actually you're calling the bookstore every single week. You're showing up, and you're saying, "Look, I want to do a signing." I love that. I love that.
Yeah. And this is why it's important. Also, like the people we have in our circles are key. I want those people that make casual suggestions that that's just whatever's on their heart, right? But they may not see it as a C, but they're trying to be helpful. They're like, you know what, you should write a book, and that thing in me is plant. Like you said, it plants a different type of seed. I want people that won't criticize in a hurtful way, right? But that are more constructively trying to build me up, right? And so I think that's key. When you want to start, for anybody listening, when you want to start really growing, you have to start looking at your circle. You should get inspired and motivated by your circle. You should get inspired and motivated by the conversations you're having with them, or the casual suggestions. Like those should be planting things in you always. And if they're not, if you're not growing in your circle, it's like, why? Why? Why were you there? What now? What is the next level for you? You get what I'm saying? What does that look like for you? And how are you going to get there? That's key right there. That's key.
This is amazing. And again, this comes back to the theme, which is take action now. You've lived that. You've lived that. And
for sure.
Even when it comes to just kind of somebody saying something casually, or you being in a tough situation to decide, actually, I'm coming out of this situation. You're taking action to change whatever it is. And I have to come back to that phrase, you feel sorry for the gates and the anything that's standing in your way.
I'm telling you, fence, bear, lion, tree, whatever. Get out the way. I'm coming. I'm coming. Yeah, that's
okay.
Key.
And I'll just say to the people watching, if you have any questions you'd like to ask Words, please drop them in the comments. He'll be happy to answer those questions as we continue on. I'm gonna ask Words a couple more questions, but please type those in the comment section, and I will pose them on your behalf.
Yes.
So,
are we live? Are we live?
Yes, we are live. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. Where are we live at?
So we're live on YouTube, on Facebook, and Periscope.
Oh wow! All right, I didn't even realize all of that. Salute.
This is it. It's all good content. It's all good. So you spoke a little bit about the fact that you help people specialize in like social media marketing and launching campaigns, etc. There are some people out there that maybe don't know too much about launch strategies or marketing funnels. Do you want to talk a little bit about the services that you do offer and how you help entrepreneurs to get themselves out there? Because there's so many different adverts these days on how you can market your business. So can you tell us a little bit about what you do and why you do it that way?
Yeah. So what I mainly focus on is putting systems and processes together, right? There's two reasons why I do it this way. One is because systems speak outcomes to people. When you have a system or a process in place, people can expect like, yo, that means he's going to have, like, I'm going to expect some results from this because there's a system in place that we can follow. People want to be spoon fed the step-by-step process, right? They're tired of people fluffing them. They're tired of like theory. Now they're like, let's actually, I want people to help me take action, right? Like we're talking about, right? So I think systems and processes, when you have that in place, that's what helps people get to results. Anything you put in, if you can make a system of it, that means you can get the same result, right? Or in theory, that's what that is, right? Ford has a system of how they create cars. So if I give you Ford's system, then the goal is you should be able to create a car as well, right? But maybe you put your logo on it. All right. I want people to have a system. I want them to have a clear path. Like clarity is what get people unstuck. And so when you don't have clarity, that's why you have that feeling of being stuck. I'm stuck. Why? Because you don't know which direction to go. So just like, I gave this example before, like Dorothy, and her thing was, I don't know if you ever seen the movie The Oz.
Oh yeah, The Wizard of Oz. Yeah.
Okay. So, they told Dorothy, yo, if you want to get home, you got to follow what?
Yellow brick road.
You got to follow the yellow brick road, right? What they did was gave her clarity. They gave her a clear path. So anytime she ventured off or veered off or got frustrated or whatever, she can always say, well, let me just get back to the yellow brick road. This is how I get home. And she started moving because now she had clarity on where to go. She had a direction to follow. Systems and processes do that for people. It gives them, you're creating a yellow brick road. At the end is whatever they said they desired. You're creating that now. All right. So that's the first thing. The second thing is the way I do it when I do funnel systems, it's set up for me to be able to build relationship, build credibility, build authority with my potential audience, and prepare them to go down that yellow brick road at the same time. I'm all about relationship, people over profit, right? People over profit. So the funnel systems allow me to now focus first on the people. I'm now, all my content is all people driven. Everything I do is going to be people driven. And then it allows me to get to a place where, okay, now we can get some profit, right? People over profit is actually creating your path to profit. Because if I focus on the person, I'm going to focus on their yellow brick road and making sure I give them a clear path. And guess what? Like I talked about earlier, if they know their results, if they know their clear path, guess what? We don't talk about money now. What we now talk about is, do you want these results or not? That's how you shift it. All right. Yeah. Yes. What did she say? Yes, I love the process. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maribel says that she loves. Yes, I love the process, procedure, clarity. I love it. And this is the thing. As you're talking about these systems, it reminds me of the story of the McDonald's brothers. Because that's literally what they did with their kitchen at a time when kitchen systems were not efficient.
Exactly.
They created a system and a process and a procedure that made everything else fall into place.
Exactly.
So to them, it wasn't the money first; it was actually the system.
It was the
system. They replicated it. That's
it. If you can, and again with me, I'm gonna build out a system, and then I'm gonna focus on. But I'm still people driven because I want the system to be based off of what people need, right? But if you can now put yourself in a position where you're creating a system for people to get a result, then people are more inclined to say, yes, I want that. I want that. I've seen the results that were received over here. And a lot of people won't sacrifice trying to get the sale first. Even your example, they're like, yo, let me just master the system. Let's prove our concept first. Once we prove the concept, then are you really, I mean, you're taking a risk, but are you really taking this greater risk once you prove the concept? If my system that I put in place, if I prove the concept, the system worked, the system is in place, I'm able to produce the results that I say I can produce. And now I decide to put $5,000 behind it. It's much easier to digest the fact that, well, I could put $5,000 behind it because I know the system works. I know that people are going to get results. And if I don't, then I'm going to be skeptical about the risk. And that's key right there. So they were able to take a risk because they proved their concept first. They developed a system, put the system in place, proved the concept, and then it's like, oh yeah, this works. Let's go ahead. Let's do it. Put the money behind it. Let's do it. So
brilliant.
Absolutely.
systems first, people over profits. I love that.
Yeah, all day.
I'm going to give some time to some of the questions from people who are watching live. Again, if you're watching live, type your questions in the comments and I'll pose them on your behalf. I'm going to take this down now because we're coming towards the end. But we have a question here from Wayne Brown. He's asking, what is the best route to take in becoming an effective motivational speaker? What are the qualities one must possess? Thank you, Wayne, so much for that question.
Yeah. So I would say, first of all, just kind of what we've been talking about is being people driven. That's got to be first thing. And then here's another thing, Wayne. You want to be people driven, but you want to understand the people that you're talking to. What do they desire? What is their pinnacle? A lot of motivational speakers, me being one of them that started off this way, was like, all right, I'm just about to get on here and I'm gonna motivate, and I'm gonna motivate everybody. But there's a specific audience that will resonate with you on a different level. Like, who is that audience? So now you can really understand the pain point and the pinnacle that they're trying to reach. So think about it like this. If I were to do motivational speaking for morbidly obese people, right? Because myself, like entrepreneurs that are morbidly obese, I'm gonna do motivational speaking for them. Now I can direct my messaging specifically. I can talk about insecurities. I can talk about, looking in the mirror. I can talk about what you dress. I can talk about, being afraid to get on camera. And I know their pain points, and I also know their pinnacle, meaning I know what they want. So the best thing I can tell you is get away from being a broad motivational speaker and actually niche down who you want to talk to and start developing and messaging around that group, and even call them out. Like, even call them out and say who this is for. And I promise you, it's not putting yourself in a box. This is actually going to open you up even more, if you will. So I would say that's the biggest thing that I would do. And then as far as what qualities you must possess, the same ones I was just talking about. You have to have that expectation of winning in yourself. And you also need to know that you're worthy, because there will be some people as a motivation speaker, you're going to pour out a lot, right? You're going to do a lot of pouring out, but understand there will be some, right, that won't truly appreciate it. They won't value it as much. And you have to understand and know, like, yo, no, I'm called to do this. Because you can get to a point where you're putting out so much and you start to feel empty, and you're like, man, was I really called to do this? Man, I'm not making any money. Like, what am I doing here? Right? But you have to know, you have to have that expectation that you're going to win, and you have to have that ultimate, like, no, I'm worthy of this. I'm worthy of this, and truly understand the value of what you're doing. I think that's key right there. That's key.
Understand the value of what you're doing. There's so many things that you've said in that are just excellent. Yeah. And Wayne, I hope that that has definitely answered your question. I'm quite sure that it has. I'm going to ask one more before I ask the question from a person in the audience, and that is, what is the most difficult situation that you've had to overcome in order to motivate yourself? Because I know that you focus on motivating others a lot, but naturally, as an entrepreneur, like you said, there are downs. What's the toughest thing since that beginning time where you were where you had lost the home? What's the hardest thing you've had to overcome, and how did you overcome it?
Yeah, so you're talking about after losing the house. I mean, that would be by far number one. Like, I just remember in that us having to go to a food pantry was like, that's the lowest part. Like, when we don't even have food, we have to go to a food pantry. We went twice. I went the first time with my wife. The second time I didn't even go in. Like, that's how much it bothered me from that. Right. Salute, Wayne. And so I would say since then, the hardest thing to overcome is going to be still grinding on days when you don't feel like grinding, when you don't feel like working, when when you're not up to it today, or you can't muster up the energy because you're not getting the results that you want, or you put so much into a launch or getting the sale and you don't get the results, and that just takes away and it drains you. Again, for me, there's two things that help me get through it. One, I have a whole family counting on me. I can't lose. You know what I'm saying? My back is at that point where it's like I cannot lose, and actually I love that. It's like, okay, this is what it is. So that's one thing, and then two, I think it's all about like self. Again, going back to that expectancy, I expect to win. I want to win. So even when I don't get the results I want, I'm not satisfied. I'm not satisfied with not getting what I saw in my head. That bothers me. And there may be some that are okay with that. I'm not. I'm not okay not hitting a goal. I'm not okay not being at the desired outcome or getting the desired outcomes I want. I'm not okay with it. And so that feeling overrides me not feeling like it today. Now I'm trying to create that same feeling with, working out and being healthy. It's like, okay, now I need you to become not okay with being unhealthy. Right. And so this is something that I'm working on my mindset with. Yeah, and you're going to see the result of that. Again, anything that I'm putting both of my hands on and I'm working on my mindset, once the shift happens, that's it. That's it. It's the same with entrepreneurship. I was taking so many losses, and once the shift happened, wow, that's it.
Brilliant. Well, listen, I'm going to have to bring this to a close, but I'm going to close out with a question, which I think everybody wants to know who's in the UK. This is from Mr. Paul Morrison. And he said, great interview. Are you planning a trip to the UK after the lockdown is over?
Let's go. Let's do it. My wife has been wanting to take a trip to London. I've been there once when I was 18.
Right.
And this was back. I don't know if you all still have to pay to use public bathrooms. This is back when,
some of them is
yeah. I was caught off guard by that. Like, wait a minute, what is this? Like,
so, I apologize on behalf of
yeah. And we got a chance to ride on the underground and all of those things and visit the Louvre and all of So absolutely. Just tell OC to make it happen, and we'll come out.
We'll do it. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
Yeah. We can plan an event around it. I think that would be dope and really do some work. Yeah,
and that's the interesting thing. This kind of the post-COVID era. When are people going to be okay to come out for events? That's an interesting thing there.
For sure.
Definitely. Once everything is fine, and it will get to a place where, I don't know, something. So we won't get political now, but there'll be a vaccine or there'll be something where everybody's fine and everyone's allowed to come out. That'll be great.
For sure.
I've got one sneaky question in here. I'll do this last one. Come on, last one. Okay, so who is your mentor and who did you look up to? That's a good question.
Yeah, that's good. So in the motivation world is, it's crazy, and this is dope. Again, this is all about taking action. My wife, and when we were in the basement, she brought me a video of a motivational speaker, and I started listening to my man every single day, and that was Eric Thomas. Right. And I was like, wow, this is incredible. And I even said, I can do this. And he actually who inspired me to get started on my journey. I say this is a great story because I now work directly with him, and I'm in charge of the launch of his extreme execution certification. Wow. So it went from me watching you on video, trying to come out of a tough time and really pursue this entrepreneur journey, to now me, being able to create income with you, right? Wow. Us getting money together, which is incredible. Another mentors of mine are, many people never heard of James Whitmore, who is an incredible online marketer. I watch him often. Mike and Robin Pashota are direct mentors of mine, and absolutely love Billy Jean marketing. So those are people that I glean from and listen to, and then I would consider my circle to be mentors as well. I'm always learning from my circle. I'm always being challenged by my circle and validated as well. So that's why I was saying in the beginning, you want a circle that causes you to thrive. Good. It's good right there. So,
I love that. Love that. Fantastic. Well, thank you everybody for your questions. We have to bring today's show to a close. Mr. Words Taylor, thank you so much for joining us today. Really appreciate having you. Hang on in the background if you can. I'm going to close out the show. I'll speak to you a little bit afterwards. We've got some thank yous from Wayne and from others as well online. Today is grind day as well. We have from Julian. Today is grind day. And shout out to Paul, shout out to Wayne, shout out to Julian, shout out to Maribel, all the people who've been watching live. Everybody's been watching live. Some people, their names don't show up. But yes, Mr. Words Taylor, I'll be with you in a minute. Thank you so much. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed today's show, all about taking action. Are you ready to take action? Are you ready to start doing the things that you know you need to do and put systems in place to think about your audience, to think about the people who you're trying to serve? So many nuggets to learn from tonight's session. Watch it back, share with your friends, and take action, please. I want to hear some testimonials actually from people who have watched this show and have been so inspired that they have decided that today they're going to take action. So drop your comments in the chat, and it will be there. I will see it and I will reply to your comments. And we've got more thank yous here. We've got thank yous from Ogs Beauty, from Maribel, and from another Facebook user, and then Wayne Brown, Mr. Question Man himself. Guys, I'm so glad that you've enjoyed tonight's show. Just a couple of quick announcements. I'd like to say, those of you who are watching my Forex 101 show, I'd like to say a big congratulations to Jasmine from London. She won the HP tablet in the Forex 101 quiz, and Lawrence, who won the £20 Amazon gift voucher in the Forex 101 quiz that happened this week. Congratulations to you guys. Guys, take action now. That's all I can say. Words is spoken. He's giving you words of inspiration, of motivation, and he's helping you to be able to take action now. So go ahead and do that. Guys, join us again in the Honing Block for another Tuesday Night Live. We've got some guests coming up this week. This month, I realized I haven't even posted who we've got coming up this month, but I'm going to be posting that video this week. In fact, I'll post it tomorrow, so you will know who's coming up for the rest of the month. But it is power-packed for you to be able to grow your potential. Guys, I hope you've had a great time. Have yourselves a great week, and I will see you next time on Tuesday Night Live. Take care. Good night.